Normally I wouldn't be able to take time off.
Okay, you're good to go. We're recording on both.
All right, good evening. We'd like to get this meeting started. All right, I'd like to thank you all for coming out tonight. I know there was a little bit of, I don't know how, misinformation thinking this was actually about the bridge. This is actually about the rehabilitation of the bridge over Boyce Hathaway Brook, which is going to be discussed tonight. The planning for the actual bridge is something that I don't know if you're really going to get into long term if that's your part of the project. But this is all about what's stated right here. Does everybody have this paperwork here? It will, everything that you do tonight will be on tape. We'll put it up online for you all to see. So if your friends haven't seen it, if there's any questions, we plan on making this very out front. Have all this information you're going to see tonight will be on the Town of Monroe website. So I don't want to ruin this name, but this young lady is going to actually bring you through and start. There's a few people from the state that are going to start this. I'll be coming back and forth from an EDC meeting and another EMS meeting. So if you have any questions of me, obviously you all know where to reach me. You've been in my office more than a few times. But young lady, your name again?
Leslie.
Leslie. I was supposed to say Leslie, but Leslie. But
Similar.
you got it. So I'll be back in a little bit. Enjoy.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Leslie Ruiz. I apologize for my voice. Allergies are taking the best of me today. But tonight we're here to present State Project 84110. Is the rehabilitation of bridge number 2265, which is located on Route 34 over the Boyce Hathaway Brook. And like I said before, my name is Leslie Reese. I'm a project engineer with the Department of Transportation. With me tonight is my supervisor, Louis Bacho, and our manager, Ted Nasames. And we're in charge of managing the project from the development all the way to the completion, including the inspections and the construction phase. With us two here is representing Close Jensen Miller is Michael Woods. They are in charge of managing the project, basically mostly during design. And the design engineer, which is A.D. Caesar Associates, is with us tonight is Joseph Solis, who's going to be presenting the existing conditions and the proposed conditions of the project. After we go to a brief presentation, about some 10 minutes, we're going to have time for questions or comments. So I appreciate if you guys wait for questions or comments after the short presentation. And now you're going to go over to the location. Oh, sorry, I still have one more. The project goals. Our goals most of the time, or I would say all the times, are just to increase the safety for the traveling public, just bring the bridge to a state of good repair. We try to minimize the disturbance to the public and try to complete it in a timely manner and on budget. And here's the location of the bridge. Let me see. Use the mouse. Here, this is Route 34, and that's the location of the bridge marked in red. And now Joseph is going to go over the existing and the proposed condition of the bridge.
Thank you, Leslie. Again, my name is Joe Solis, and I'm with A.D. Caesar Associates. And at this time, I'm just going to give a brief description of the project. Project number 84110 is like Leslie said, the rehabilitation of bridge number 2265, Route 34 over Boyce Hathaway Brook here in Monroe. The bridge is located on Route 34, just west of the Stevenson Dam. This is a photo of the inlet of the bridge, or the south elevation of the bridge looking north. And for this project, the superstructure, or the upper portion of the bridge, will be replaced, and the abutments, or the portion that supports the superstructure, will be maintained with minor modifications. This is the portion that's going to be replaced, and these are the abutments that support the bridge. Those are going to stay in place. Regarding the existing bridge, the bridge was built in 1915 and it was reconstructed in 1930. It's made up of a reinforced concrete slab which supports fill, and the fill supports a bituminous wearing surface. The concrete slab superstructure is supported by stone masonry abutments as well as concrete abutments. The total overall length of the bridge is 13 feet, and the bridge has a 9-foot clear span. The bridge measures 30 feet curb to curb, which includes, right now the existing bridge includes 2 11 to 12-foot travel lanes and 2 3 to 4-foot shoulders. The overall measurement of the bridge is 38.5 feet, and the average daily traffic on Route 34 at this location is 9,800 vehicles per day. This is a view from Route 34 looking westbound. What's highlighted there in orange is actually the location of our bridge. Lake Zor in this picture is to the right. This is a view from Route 34 looking eastbound. Lake Zor in this picture is to the left. What's highlighted there in orange is the location of the bridge, and the Lake Zor, the Lake Zor Drive-In is just past the bridge on the left. That's the restaurant that's in this area. The bridge is showing signs of deterioration, and many of these deteriorated areas occur at the midspan of the bridge, which is a high stress zone. This is the reason we're replacing the bridge. The slab exhibits cracks and spalls with efflorescence and exposed reinforcing. These are some of the photos of the defects. The photo on the left shows cracks on the underside of the slab with efflorescence. The presence of efflorescence just means that water is getting into the slab and it's making the efflorescence come out. And once water gets into the slab, it starts corroding the reinforcing, which causes the reinforcing to expand and causes the concrete surrounding the reinforcing to crack and spall. Pictured on the right is an actual spall with exposed reinforcing and efflorescence. Regarding the proposed rehabilitation, the proposed bridge will maintain relatively the same footprint as the existing bridge. The existing slab will be replaced with a new reinforced concrete slab. The roadway will be widened to accommodate 2 12-foot travel lanes and 2 5-foot shoulders. The bridge will be maintained, or will be supported on the existing foundations with slight modifications to the existing abutments. We actually found that there is 2 feet plus or minus of fill that will not need to go back. It's just fill that will be taken out, so that just makes us, we're able to raise the bottom chord of the bridge. Also, there will be 2 stages of construction. During both stages of construction, traffic will be maintained using alternating one-way traffic to protect the traffic during the course of the project. This is a drawing of the proposed roadway. The area highlighted in orange is actually the proposed structure. That's the extent of the proposed structure. The area highlighted in yellow is a full depth reconstruction, just areas we're going to have to dig out in order to get to and modify the existing abutments. The area highlighted in dark gray are the areas of mill and pave, and that basically shows you the extent of the project. It's a little over 100 feet. And then the areas highlighted in dark gray are undisturbed areas. This area right here is actually the area of the Lake Zor Drive-In restaurant. This is a close-up view of the bridge, the area of the bridge, as well as a typical section and the proposed downstream elevation. Again, the area highlighted in orange is the extent of the, we will be adding new parapets as well as concrete barriers on both sides of the bridge with a metal bridge rail on top. Again, the areas highlighted in the yellow are areas that will receive full depth reconstruction, areas that we'll be digging down in order to get to the abutments. And these wing walls are existing wing walls that will remain, as well as the abutments highlighted in light orange. As stated earlier, the bridge will be constructed in 2 stages. During stage 1, the northern half of the bridge will be demolished. This is the northern half. It's the area highlighted in orange. I call that as the work zone. During this stage, traffic will be shifted to the southern half of the bridge and will be maintained using alternating one-way traffic. Temporary traffic signals will be placed at both ends of the work zone, here and here. And temporary precast barrier curbs will be placed along the work zone in order to protect the work zone as well as the traffic. During this stage, we will also be maintaining access to the driveway of the local business, which is located in this area here. During stage 2 of the construction, traffic will be shifted to the north, which is this area here, onto the newly constructed bridge, and the southern half of the existing bridge will be demolished and reconstructed. The southern half is, again, the area shown in orange, called out as the work zone. During this stage, again, traffic will be maintained using alternating one-way traffic, and temporary traffic signals will be placed at both ends of the work zone. And again, temporary precast concrete barrier curbs or jersey barriers will be placed along the work zone to protect the work zone and traffic. And again, during the stage, we will be mindful of keep maintaining access to the driveways of the local business. Regarding environmental permitting, the following environmental permits are anticipated. We will need an inland wetlands general permit, as well as an Army Corps of Engineers Category 1 permit. Regarding utilities, there are no utility impacts that are anticipated for this project. There are some aerial lines, aerial utilities just south of the bridge, but the lines as well as the poles are far enough away that they won't be impacted, and we won't be impacted. They won't be impacting the construction. And regarding rights of way, all of the work that's going to be performed for the rehabilitation of the bridge will be performed within the state property, so there are no private property impacts anticipated for the project. And at this time, I'm just going to turn it back over to Leslie.
The construction for this project is expected to start in the summer of 2018. The estimated construction time is about 5 months, so one construction season. And the cost is about $700,000, and it's right now it's all state funded. And at this point, we conclude our presentation, and now we open it for comments or questions. Okay, let's start with.
If you go back to the proposed plan, the first one there, you've got a jog right in the middle of the bridge.
Yeah, I think that what happened was there was two, I guess, at one point there was probably,
There it is, right there.
there's probably, that's actually the close-up. The bridge is probably at one point half as wide, and they probably extended it. One half of the abutments are masonry abutments, the original masonry abutments, and another half of the substructure is actually concrete. So the bridge at one point was widened. So we're actually reusing the existing abutments because they're in good shape. So we're just
That's not
replacing
going
the
to cause any turbulence with the water going through there under, you know, when you got a jog like that.
Yeah. Because actually flow goes up.
It's been like that since 1950
Flows up, yeah,
or
flows
1930
north.
was reconstructed.
Yeah.
Just a jog, I guess, it's not going down, from the top of the page down.
It's coming from the top of the page
No,
down.
no, it actually goes from the bottom up. It flows north into Lake Zora. Yeah.
Okay. Just seems like you could have just made it smooth. Right?
Yes.
I'm a local historian on Stevenson Dam, so I want to tie in some issues. I was at the last meeting for that many years ago. There's two basic thoughts about the bridge going through the water or remotely maybe skimming alongside the dam. Will this be, if those happen, that's an interesting question, will this bridge be no longer useful? And will that 34 bypass this bridge? I noticed you've got the same footprint. You said there's no future growth plan in this particular construction. Can you comment on that?
I'd like to keep the comments based on this bridge. We're basically correcting deficiency in this particular bridge. I know that other project is an ongoing project that's being looked at in the very early stages, and I don't believe a decision's made whether it's upstream, downstream. If you're making a new roadway to connect to a brand new bridge, and it happened to impact this bridge, it would be then they
I think my question is pertinent as a taxpayer.
Well, of course,
You
it
know,
is.
obviously,
So,
as this project moves along, you want to know whether this bridge is going to be in the old plan or the new plan and not throw away the tax money. I know other bridges have only been restored because of cost issues, not expanded like the one down by Big Y. I made some inquiries down there.
so,
So my question is valid.
well, I'm sure it's valid.
Yeah.
And I guess what I'm telling you is, since that decision hasn't been made yet, I'm not going to put a brand new bridge here and make it wider just in case it's needed.
Okay.
We would need to settle on that other alignment first. What we're doing here is merely fixing the bridge. We're taking the old slab off, putting a new concrete slab back on. That's why we're reusing these abutments and everything else at a fairly low cost for this type of bridge.
And the other question I had is, are these funds earmarked for this project and held already, or are they just on a budgetary basis based on what might happen to our obviously problematic budget situation with the state of Connecticut?
So it's basically based on the budget that was passed 2 years ago, which is on a 2-year budget. This many funds were allocated for this, but it's not an earmark. So, yeah, if things were to change, we'd have to look at some possible federal funding to, but right now, it's budgeted. We have the money to do this bridge.
Okay, thank you.
So my name is JP Trusinski, I'm the state representative, for those of you who don't know me, and I just wanted to clarify, we had met earlier, probably with a whole different group of people, about a larger project going across Route 34, which is moving the entire structure of 34 off the dam, putting it in another location. I got an email about this project. I responded to DOT and said, is this going to be the public hearing about that project? I didn't hear a response. So I said, okay, well, that must be it then, so I assumed that was it. So I put out some messages saying that this was indeed the project. So if there's any confusion, if anyone canceled any plans to be here tonight, expecting a different meeting, I apologize. I didn't mean to disturb your evening in the end of summer. But with that being said, I do have a couple questions for the project
Yes,
managers.
please.
One is, and it was kind of answered already, I just want to make sure that you are aware of that other project in the context of this one. Now, whether or not it's I know there are 5 or 6 different options in that one, and that there's no decision that has been made yet, whether it's an upstream, downstream, or more aggressive type thing. So I just want to make sure that you are aware of that project. By your answer to Mr. Babina, I'm sure that you are. And I know the state of Connecticut doesn't have a large bucket of money in which to spend, so I'm sure that you're doing your best to try to budget for it. The other question I had is, yes, I understand that there's going to be no actual disruption. However, having it down to 1 lane will obviously cause just, general disruption. One of the issues that we've had on 111 next to the Monroe Elementary School is that the phases have taken place, and in between those phases, they've just stopped work altogether. Now, my understanding is the reason for that is because there's materials that haven't been shipped, they don't have the proper work to get done, so I would just like to, on the record, state that it would be nice if we could do a nice, quick, efficient project that doesn't disrupt traffic for longer than it needs to be disrupted. I think we all understand that there's going to have to be disruption when you fix a road or fix a bridge. Bridges and roads are very, very important to the economy, important to safety. But if we could just kind of plan ahead for that, we do have 2+ years to make sure that we disrupt traffic as least as possible on 34. So that would be it. And again, I apologize for anyone who made me here and expected a much larger and more dramatic thing. So this was a test. It was a test only. Everyone here, you passed. And everyone that's not here, they're going to get a phone call from me saying, why didn't you show up? So, but thank you very much to the DOT and everyone that showed up today.
Thank you for your comment. Yes.
My name is John Downs. I live directly below Stevenson Dam, Roosevelt Drive, Oxford. I'm also known as the mayor of Riverside. I've been there all my life. I don't want to put a fly in the ointment, but we're talking about the jog and the bridge. In October 1955, I witnessed 2 feet of water coming over the top of the road. So maybe it should be widened. And the other thing I discussed with the gentleman earlier is the traffic situation. I would hate to see traffic stopped and wind up with tank trucks and semis sitting on the bridge waiting for the light to change. That's, personally, I would like to see the truck traffic taken off for the duration of the project.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
Thank you. Yes.
I'm here on behalf of First Light Power. We own Stevenson Dam.
Okay.
I'd like to know what your sediment and erosion controls are. I'd like a copy of site plans from you guys, so I can make sure that we can ensure that the, concurrent erosion we're seeing that's coming down onto our neighbor's property at the Lake Monroe Marina, they're having trouble controlling the excess flow coming off 34. It's causing erosion on their land. I told them to reach out to DOT, try to get some more curbing added, make sure the water gets diverted off the highway and not down onto their land. And at the same time, the E&S, we own the majority of the land that's outside of what's considered to be a right-of-way. We'd like to help you guys, secure from the power company to ensure when you put in a construction trailer, put a laydown area, get the concrete trucks off the road, do whatever you have. We're here to help DOT. We want to make sure we can get you guys off the highway. But I would add to your inland wetlands and Army Corps permitting, reaching out to us to make sure we can mobilize you guys off the highway and do it in a fashion that, sinks the business that operates on our land, and at the same time, make sure we have laydown areas all around Stevenson Dam. We're going to be shutting down the bridge for major maintenance, huge maintenance. We want to make sure we synchronize our maintenance with DOT at the same time, and make sure we don't end up with a log jam. We know our neighbors know how the bridge runs, like yourself. We just want to make sure we work together. I would just add to your permitting slide, get a hold of me, and we'll make sure we can facilitate it, make sure form and function we match with what we're doing.
One of the reasons for this meeting is for hear from people like you, so be able to get your information and be able to be in contact with you, and we can meet later on and go over that. Right now, we don't have, we're at the early stages, so we don't have any of the erosion control defined yet, if I'm correct.
Yeah, those plans haven't been developed.
So-
Right.
So
That's why
if we
we're
get your
here, trying to,
information, yes.
Facilitate as much as we can and participate with you guys and make sure, we bring all our resources to bear, and at the same time, we synchronize our activities to make sure that, we're gonna be shutting down Stevenson Bridge through 2017, and we're gonna be cycling, and we're working with DOT on how we do that. On our $1 million repair on the bridge, so we want to make sure that, your guys' construction cycle mixes with ours, and we don't cause inconvenience for the community and everybody else associated with it. So that's why I'm here. I brought some maps.
Perfect.
And my notes were, get a copy of the presentation, set of full site plans, with right-of-way easements and how we can accompany you guys and mobilize us on our land, allow you guys to get everything out of the highway right away, synchronize it with our business, and, give you guys some maps and we can work together as we plan.
If you don't mind, after the meeting is over, if you can stop by and,
That's why I'm here.
okay, perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Dawn Fair, and I operate the marina that Brian was referring to. So our concern, of course, is when it would happen and how that would impact the traffic flow coming in. The marina is obviously a seasonal business, so in the summertime, it would be awful to have boats coming down and stopping and all that as they're coming in to launch. The snack bar, on the other hand, is a year-round business, and so we wouldn't want to see that impacted by people not being able to access it. But another concern, which I know I've made to other people, is as you're coming down right where that bridge is, the curve, so many people have actually, because they're speeding, but still, the way that road curves have gone into the guardrail, have multiple accidents, and just if, as you're doing it, it's more accessible and the visibility, because that curve, the trees and better time, but of course, it's not a great time to work on a bridge.
Well, it's based on permits too. Any other questions?
Just one thing, the gentleman had a question about overtopping. Did I hear you were going to make it a bit taller?
We are going to improve the hydraulic problem.
Yeah.
We'd have to look at the storm defense.
I'm not sure we can base everything off of 1955.
Yeah, that's-
And setting 2 500-year floods, we're not going to
Yeah, it's just,
design based on that.
I can tell you just from our own observation, even, Sandy and some of the other less severe storms, it doesn't take much for that whole area to flood right there, and quickly. And then I'm telling you, the erosion that we have suffered because of all the water that just immediately flows into the marina is incredible. We put in drains, we've done, several things over the last few years to try to divert the water, but it just floods right down from beneath us.
You're talking about from the roadway, right?
Yeah, from the road, it just flies right down. You can go right now, just from the last couple of storms a few weeks ago, we just put new sand in and you can see everywhere where it just goes down.
also, it's not from the street, that road.
It's just, the poor drainage is off road, it comes right down because of the way.
We can pick whatever we have in location.
Yeah.
Any more questions or comments? Thank you everyone for coming, and we're gonna be around if you have any other additional questions. Thank you. Have a good night.